Hello and welcome to this Fallout 4 settlement tour. This is XtremeWackazoid and today we are looking at Warwick Homestead. This is on the PS4. I'm using a number of mods which are listed below. Warwick Homestead is a large build space. You can actually build on top of that structure. There's some water pits here so you can farm purified water. And there's a little bit of a backstory with the settlers. I won't spoil too much, but one suspects another of being a synth. And so what I wanted to do here was use the existing structures as best I could. And so we'll see what we see. I have a standing guard here, and there's a lot of turrets here. I put laser turrets and heavy minigun turrets on top of these scaffolding structures, and I put them up high so that they're free from melee attackers. And I recommend putting your defenses along this line because a bunch of raiders spawn in that ship pretty regularly, and Mirelurks do as well, so your attackers typically come from this direction. Over here, what I wanted to do was to extend this scaffolding steps so that it looks like they continue on to this structure as well. So this was existing, and then I built this here with my restaurant. And I like to build a restaurant area because settlers will come and congregate here at the end of a day, and they'll line up and it'll look like they're eating food. And if you build these bar stands with bar stools, they'll sit up and look out over the water. And I like for it to look like a functioning restaurant, so there's some cabinetry with sinks and oven, a refrigerator. And I use these tier 3 vendor stands, and I place items in the stands so it looks like they're actually selling something. And so one of the first things I do when I build is I decide where I'm going to put my power source. I typically put it up high, and I definitely surround it by a barrier. And so my power source is up there, and I put concrete to surround it so it looks kind of uniform with the structure. And I always put a barrier because attackers will target your power source. So inside here, I scrapped that settlement, and I freed up a lot of the space to make this the residence. And I have just, I believe, 8 settlers. It's just an efficient number. You can fit a lot more here if you'd like, but I like for it to look kind of realistic. And so there's 3 farmers, 4 vendors, a guard, and a provisioner. So I guess that'd be 9. And so with these beds, I typically like to put some kind of duffel bag or something underneath so it looks like they have kind of a go bag. My settlers are farming mute fruit. It's the most efficient food to grow, and I give them all this same outfit. I like to give my settlers the same outfit because it looks kind of creepy, and they have ballistic weave in their clothing as well as their hats. And I believe, what is that? So it looks like a minister's outfit, or yeah, I think so. So it's even more creepy. And then up here is an existing structure, and what I wanted to do was just to put my restroom area here, so it's like kind of a latrine that so there's a toilet here, a sink, a shower. And then there what I wanted to do is to build a walkway that goes across these water pits. There's kind of a junked out walkway, and you can see a bit of where it actually starts there, and so that way you can go from one end to the other. And I put a water purifier there. You can fit a couple more, but I like to just have a couple of water purifiers. I think it's a little more realistic. So here's my other vendors. So here again, I just scrap what was inside this structure, and then I put my vendor stands here. And so there's some ceiling fan lighting, and with my clinic vendor, I give them a lab coat so it looks like they're a real doctor. Then there's a wheelchair and a gurney there and a sink. And then with the clothing vendor, I use these armor stands so it looks like they're actually selling clothing. And with the shelving, I build the shelving out into an empty space, and I raise and lower the shelf with the select all trick with a concrete pillar. And then I place items with the OCDecorator mod. And same thing with my junk vendor. There's some items there, and I have a radio on. So the scaffolding, the existing scaffolding continues there, and then it kind of stops and junks out. And so I put this Institute scaffolding across. And again, there's a water purifier right there. And then I built it so it goes up and around and down. And so you just kind of have to plan that out of where it's going to end up landing. One thing I recommend as well is just to put some defenses along outside here, just in case, along these walkways. So hopefully this will give you a few ideas of what you can do with the space. If you like what you see, you can hit like and you can subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you.